Hey, everybody, it's another Sunday night. It's another installment of our weekly dividend communion together that I have with you. And this strange brand of investing chit chat that we go on about. And hey, you're here, I'm here. Welcome. We've got some interesting news to talk about. Started 15 minutes early because, hey, why not? It's my channel. I can do whatever I want, you know? Hey, maybe someday I'll just do a 12-hour marathon. We'll have, like, Jerry Lewis. No, Jerry... It was Jerry Lewis, right? Anyway, Greg, Fast Eddie, Janice, Shamir, the gang's all here. And let's see. Well, we've already got Pat. You've been hanging drywall, you told me, working on your house and stuff. I'm not a big fan of hanging drywall. But let's start with the weather, everybody. What's more interesting to talk about than the weather? If only you could invest in the weather. I'm currently long on cooler weather. I'm short on the hot weather. I'm very bearish on it because I've had enough. It's overstayed its welcome. I'm ready. Dude, I went to Costco today. I got the Sam Adams 24-pack, I think it is. Yeah, right? 24, 28. I'm not going to run and get the box, but the Sam Adams Oktoberfest, love it. As soon as I see that bright orange box, I know fall's right around the corner, but yeah, so we got a little bit of a heat wave to deal with here in the Midwest. For those of you that live in the desert, it's always hot there. What do you expect? You live in the damn desert in the Southwest. Come on. You don't want that. Go live in New England or something. But anyway, so a little bit of warm up here. Yeah, big sale if you follow along with the newsletter. If you play that game at home, I think I do have a link below, or you could just go to DapperDividends.com. Someday, I'm really going to get on my wife to update and do something different with that site. But yeah, she put that together, figured it out, and it's kind of dormant. It just serves its purpose. I don't really post much to it. It's kind of a landing page. So I want to see what are you guys buying? What are you selling? What have you done? Who's the most famous person that you've personally met? But not at like an autograph signing, right? Because here in Chicago, when Kane and Taves were new people on the team, that's Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. I waited in line for an hour and a half just to get their signature. And I don't know. Does that count? Did I really meet them in person? I guess I did. I don't know. Not exactly what I think about, but what do you think about when the power goes out and you're sitting at home alone and your phone's dead? I don't know. Why? Because I don't know who you are. How would I possibly know what you're thinking about when the power goes out? So Patty, you said Enbridge dividend is... Wait, what? The Enbridge dividend is, I think, it can't be $520. That would be amazing. So you got me a little confused there. Maybe you pulled my leg. I don't know. Oh, I understand, Shamir. We'll leave that one to those that are of the more perverted mindset, which apparently you are. And I guess that's the kind of viewership that I apparently attract here. It's okay. No worries. We look at this. JJ, I don't know if I gave all of you a crisp salute. And good to see you. Hey, you do this. You read comments and try and think of something fun to say. Shipyard Pumpkinhead. Rick, please elucidate and educate, because I don't know. Damn it, if I could only think of another 8 word. But what's Shipyard Pumpkinhead? Sounds like something like a Spookananny, like a horror film. Like is because Pumpkinhead, right? That was from the 90s or the 80s. I never saw it. Saw the box, but we got Janice over there. Janice up there. Yeah, hey there, Janice. Buying QQQ. Oh God, you're buying QQQ. I can't do it. I lose it. It's funny. Sometimes I can do a great Wisconsin accent, and then other times, like now, not so much. But you bought JEPQ and QQQM. Fast Eddie, I don't know. Oh, you met Foster Brooks. I don't know who Foster Brooks is. Hey, we'll come up with fun topics for every show. Pat, still stacking cash. Oh, yes. With what I sold, I have a bunch of cash in my self-directed IRA, and I'm thinking of what I want to spend it on. I don't see any screaming buys. Maybe I'll show you guys this now. I was actually on Seeking Alpha reading a newer author I have just come across, Millennial Dividends. We'll give you his 3 dividend picks for super compounders. Why? Because I love you, and I want you to come back to this show. We have a relationship together, you and I look forward to seeing you every Sunday evening. And the people are like, you're full of crap, man. How are you seeing us? We're seeing you. But no, I see your names like Jeff Lovelace, my friend up in Canada. We talked on Blossom. I got to be better about posting to Blossom, but hey, I get busy. Jeff, were you a ski team? I think he was, hopefully I can tell that. You were part of the Olympic ski team for up there in Canada, America's Hat. You sold Starbucks at 95 and put it back on your watch list. Do you feel like you're timing the market when you do that? I almost feel like I'm timing the market. The company I sold, which we'll get to in, about 5 minutes. Yeah, I thought, I don't know. I don't want to just dump the money right into something. But then again, that might be trying to time the market. Dresh, I did see that a caller out of Texas, I think, had asked about Harrow Incorporated, ticker HROW, which don't worry about making that mistake. It's a faux pas that I'll allow. A faux pas. Faux pas. Faux pas. That's something that cats have, I think. It's like my cat Stinkfoot when he comes out of the litter box and he's not watching where he's walking, right? That's a faux pas. But you made a faux pas. It's Harrow Incorporated. But we'll allow it. We'll allow it to stand. And yeah, I did see, and it's funny you said that because my initial gut reaction was like, oh no, Jim Cramer's talking about Harrow. After everything's breaking right. This is one of those that the CEO, Mark Baum, just his vision, everything he's wanted to do everything's just going the way he said it was going to go. And the market is starting to reward them for that. So, oh good, Pat, that was your total dividend. I was thinking like, wait, Enbridge paid a 520. I know Canadian dollars are currently undervalued. I think it's like, because I was reading a lot about this other company. I think right now the exchange is every American dollar is worth $1.35 Canadian, something like that. So I was thinking like, I know it's the exchange rate, right? The FX conversion can't be that much. Oh, this guy's at the gym. Good thing I was going to invite you on, but now I rescind my invitation, Mr. Williams. I see Logan is clarifying for Mr. Rick about the Shipyard Pumpkinhead. I think you're missing a P there. Pumpkinhead is a delicious fall beer. And you're from Alabama, but picked up some on a trip to Northeast. Hey, I think Rick is also from down yonder that way too. All right, we're going to show you these 3 picks. Get ready for super dividend compounders, but I'm going to get caught up and I'm going to say hello to Trevon. What's crack-a-lackin', man? What's going on? I know, I'm in a good mood. I went skating with my daughter. She wanted to just for some reason go skating. Almost 100 degrees with the humidity here today. I almost died. Found out the hard way that, I'm 46 and a half almost. But I used to play hockey for hours. I always was skating, and now not so much. And my body's letting me know that. So, yeah, Shannon, you're buying more realty income, energy transfer, Enbridge, and Pittsburgh Plate Glass, ticker PPG. All right, here we go. I'm going to skip over John because I'm going to talk to that in a second. That's it. Jeff was the coach of the Canadian freestyle ski team. I don't remember the woman's name. last weekend, my buddy and I were having a great laugh. Unfortunately, I guess at the expense of that woman from Australia, the breakdancer in the Olympics. And it's just like, hey, God bless her. I mean, if that's it, I honestly, my wife was the first one to show that to me. And I'm being serious when I put my hand on my chest like this, but I thought it was a skit. I thought it was a Saturday Night Live skit or something. I was like, wait, what? This is really the Olympics? I want to say I didn't get to Ryan's video yet. Lo siento, amigo mío. I'm sorry, my friend. I will get to it soon. Target's earnings. I really didn't look into it that much. I don't own them outright, but it was good. I guess they're working through their inventory, which took a minute. A lot of the retailers are doing well. I need to stop doing this because I just heard it every time I'm talking with my hands, right? I should have been Italian, How do you, what do they say? How do you make, I blew it. How do you shut up? Or how do you silence an Italian? You tie his hands together, something like that. I don't know, it's a joke my father-in-law tells, who is Italian, but okay, so let's get you these picks. And Puck Man, what's up, man? Saying that pumpkin spice. We're all about pumpkins on this show for some reason. Okay. Dresh, he tells dad jokes, but he has no kids. He's a faux pas. Boom. Thank you, Dresh. That's what I love you guys doing. Beautiful. And yeah, Ryan, I was going to tune into it. Dude, I never would have been able to. I ended up working late Friday night. But Mr. Williams, I don't know what you told your viewers, but he had a headache, I guess, right? So we can say that. All right, here we go. Let's share with you from what I came across on good old Seeking Alpha. And first, we need to share the screen so you can see what I'm looking at, because otherwise it'd be pretty damn boring. So when we zoom this in, this is something I came across. A analyst on Seeking Alpha, there we go, called, no, I need to do this to give you more real estate to view that. So there we go. 3 dividend super compounders worth buying. This is a younger investor from what I gathered, got about 30 years ahead of him until he retires. So he talked about looking for dividend stocks that are going to grow the dividend a lot. I like this. Pretty cool. Nice reminder. He said, if a company has a 2% starting yield, some would say, yeah, that's too low. But if the dividend growth rate was 12% annually in 20 years, it would be a 17.2% yield on cost. Also, he's factoring in the capital appreciation, right? Because some of these businesses that compound the dividend at a really high rate, they're good businesses, and good businesses tend to keep growing the dividend and growing the business, making them more valuable. And it's just, right, like the dividend snowball. So anyway, we'll just skim through real quick. Maybe you want to look into these, put these on your radar. The first one he shares is MSCI, which is also known as Morgan Stanley Capital International. So that is the first one. And I think he just said because they have a tailwind of more of the passive investing benefits them from ETFs and whatnot. So MSCI was one of them. Number 2, of course, Visa. Yeah, this is one I should have done, I guess, in the 250s, even right here. As he pointed out, historically, when Visa is at a price to earnings below 30, it is often restrictive valuation territory for meaningful future returns, but with Visa, it's been traditionally a solid one. I remember we shared that. We talked about how Visa, when it's under, a couple times, it's only been under 20, I think twice since it IPO'd in, 2008, 9, 10, something like that. He prefers Visa over MasterCard because they have a bigger U.S. share and internationally. And then the last one is Meta. Very interesting. For a minute there, I forgot Meta paid a dividend. So, yeah, because it's staggering 3.24 billion users daily. I was like, wait, what? 40% of the world's population uses at least one of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or Threads every single day. And that's if Meta gets TikTok, it's game over, right? So there you go. Those were the ones that, and right there. He did mention TikTok, which it's a drug. My kids are addicted. I hope they hear me because always on that. But anyway, and he said none of the picks are dirt cheap, but there you go. So do you guys own any of MSCI, Visa, or Meta as a dividend growth plays and investments? Not a play. We want to invest for the long term, right? It's like all this guy does is talk. He doesn't shut his yap, yeah? All right, here we go. We're at 15 minutes. So now we're going to share with you what I sold because I'm caught up to you guys. And this is, so if you get the newsletter, you see, oh, cool, Jeff, you started a new position in Visa. I did too, not that long ago. Mr. Williams is near there too. Okay, so look at Trevon, 1 share of MSCI. Brilliant. All right, here we go. So what I did is, first of all, this is a very historic episode, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, you are in for a treat because you are on board for the very first and inaugural episode where we give out the Dapper Dividends Mr. Yuck Stay Away Seal of Disapproval. And again, this is just me. This is not affiliated with the Poison Control Center, who put out Mr. Yuck in the 1970s. And pretty sure I can use this. If not, oh well, we'll hear about it. So here's the little brief that I did. Stand by. Drum roll, please, in your minds. This is the stock that I sold and give the Mr. Yuck seal of disapproval. Toronto Dominion Bank, ticker TD. Again, not a surprise if you've got the newsletter, but it's not indigestion. I made sure of that, but my gut didn't have a good feeling because there was a newsletter, and a shout out to Blossom. I freaking forget who I first saw the post. I was checking Blossom. It popped up on my way to StockTwits. Would have read about it there. But yeah, Toronto Dominion, they ended up posting their first loss in over 2 decades. And it all stems from this probe that is around Chinese drug laundering between 2016 and 2021. You know, that doesn't sound good at all. Now, things happen, and you have to wonder how deep, who knew what when, who covered up when. Was it really just one rogue employee that it kind of looks like, acting on their own, autonomously laundering drug money for the Chinese? It was like 600 something million, I think, is what the United States probe suggests. But most importantly, I think initially Schwab had set aside like $450 million of a provision to basically take care of the fine. But now they're setting aside $2.6 billion, and they sold 40.5 million shares of Charles Schwab, ticker SCHW, and that reduced their stake. I think the number was from like 12.3% to 10.1% in Schwab. So TD did own over 12% of Schwab, and now it's down to 10%. And if that wasn't bad enough, that there's something called non-monetary penalties, meaning that in addition to, anywhere from 450 million to, I've seen numbers ranging up to potentially $4 billion. I mean, right? We're starting to talk real money at $4 billion. And it could be bad for them because the non-monetary penalties, meaning that it could restrict their future growth plans in the United States. Remember, TD wanted to buy, I think it was First Horizon Bank, that's in the Southwest. That ended up falling through. But they want to grow in the United States. 25% of TD's revenue comes from the United States. And if that growth is restricted and severely limited, then man, that could for years put a damper on the outlook of TD. And, are they going out of business? Highly unlikely. They're not going to go anywhere. But just for me, it really did remind me that I shared in the newsletter in 2013, Charlie Munger had talked about the big banks, saying that, he was saying in the past, they used to be really easy to analyze. A lot of the banks, like they were involved in a bank in Rockford, Illinois. I think Gene Abeg. Warren always talks so fondly of Gene Abeg. And he, it was pretty much just simple deposits and loans. Very easy to understand. But as Charlie said, it's very difficult to read through the financial statements of big banks right now. There's just tons of information in the footnotes, a lot of gobbledygook, as he said. I miss Charlie. Feels like one of the grandfathers I never had. And it's just, I ended up saying, I'm throwing in the towel. I tried to understand TD. I tried to look at it. But at the end of the day, it really felt like they had a really long dividend track record, 167 years of uninterrupted dividends or dividend payments without a reduction. And for decades, it could have been at the same, quarter of a penny or whatever it was. But man, it's just not a good reason to invest when it boils down to, I think I understand the business. They've paid a dividend for almost 2 centuries or 1 3/4 centuries. And they're so closely monitored by the Canadian government that they really are almost too big to fail. And the Canadian government would step in and help out. But I ended up just doing that. I ended up selling 157 shares and actually did it in aftermarket on Wednesday night. This past Wednesday, their earnings were on Tuesday morning. And $59.75, what is it? I sold that. I had an initial cost basis of about 62 and change, but with the dividends received, it ended up being a total return of 1.6%. And I'm just going to find, no, I didn't, Whiskey Tango. I had Mo and TD. Yeah, if I was psychic, man, I wish I would have waited on Mo. It's at like it's over $52 a share as we speak. It's really been getting a lot of love from the market. TD's his favorite bank to launder my drug proceeds. Jim, we can always count on you, buddy. I needed that, a little bit of levity there. Brilliant. Yes. Yeah, and right away, I almost see like a Saturday Night Live sketch where if you're a drug dealer from a foreign country and you need to launder money, who are you going to call? You're going to call TD, right? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. You say that stocks are at all-time highs and inflation's still out of control. Is it out of control? I mean, it seems like it's coming down, but yeah, the Fed's going to cut. Well, that's going to be interesting, man. And honestly, I hope a lot of my stocks go down in price. I guess that's how you know if you're a passive income investor. When you have a lot of time and you're not living on it. And you're not living on the income, right? And that's one of the things we look for. And when you play that long game, is the way I like to think about it, is you want to have those solid businesses that are going to be able to pay the dividend if we do have a recession. And you can look at a lot of those businesses that keep that dividend going. And I think if we were to be embroiled in a recession, you're going to have a lot of people looking for safety. We kind of saw that, remember? When the market it doesn't stay down long enough, in my opinion. God dang it, I keep, heavy hands, people. Heavy hands on the desk. It's got to be annoying to you. Because if it's annoying me, it's got to be annoying you. I'm going to put some nice little felt pillows here, something, little mini pillows for the hands, the heavy hand pillows. But, I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, something about, defense, right? The defensive stocks, a lot of them get love. If there's a recession, people are worried. They get scared into that. But yeah, I didn't sell those. And then you ended up saying mass corruption in a bank. The government hates competition. There was another government. Jim, help me out here, man. What was the other government hates competition Was it the drug dealing? I think it was drug dealers. Why do they put drug dealers in jail? Because the government hates competition, right? Coyote, what'd you say, man? 30-year fixed rate mortgage in Canada, 5 years max. What is that? Wait. Oh, there's no 30-year. Okay, I gotcha. Oh, okay, that's why. So, wouldn't that be good for the bank? So everybody pretty much has to refi every 5 years. Is that how it goes, or do you just pay off in 5 years? I don't know. How does that go? Sam, what's going on, Sam? Where are you? Are you down under? Comment. Sam, by the way, has a photography and video channel. I swung by and checked out, said hello. And Sam's way down there in, I think you're in Aussie. I don't think you're in Tassie. We talked about Tassie, but you're in Aussie. Jeff, what do I think about Chevron? I own them. I haven't looked at them in a minute, but I think they have less debt. Well, let's look real quick, man. Since you were so kind to ask, let's throw good. Oh, by the way, the week ahead, I see I have, I was going to put the week ahead up there. All you need to know, Wednesday after market close, get ready for fireworks, because that's when Nvidia reports, and I think analysts are expecting 100% growth. It's insane. It just can't continue like this forever. They're priced to perfection still, I think. Let me know if you disagree, but they're saying this is going to be a potentially market-moving earnings report. It's almost like the market is going to go the way Nvidia goes. So it's going to be an interesting one. So that's, get your popcorn ready for Wednesday after the market close. But what was I doing? Oh, we're going to do news, and then we'll talk about your Chevron, Jeff. God, Jeff, Chevron. I like portfolio dynamite. Hey, guy, how about Napoleon Dynamite? Yeah. All right, we'll do some little bit of news here. From what I could get from this one, Perrigo, ticker PRGO, what they do, white label products. You know how you go into a Walgreens or a CVS and you see the CVS brand aspirin? That's Perrigo. They manufacture it, the generic product, and then they put your label on it, and there you go. Now you have CVS aspirin, probably the same as Walgreens aspirin. There's Perrigo's just putting a different label on it. But they, from what I read on this, that they are trying to pay down debt, and they're having an issue with some of their infant formula section of their business, which is creating some headwinds. So they were downgraded from 60 borderline safe to 50. Interesting business. Looked into them a long time ago. I don't know much about this Aberdeen Total Dynamic Dividend Fund. 13%. This is more of dividend stockpile. This would be a great question for Jeremy. I know he plays in a lot of the, what is this? I can't think of the name of it. Uno momento, a closed-end fund. I couldn't think of that name. So, yeah, Jeremy from dividendstockpile.com plays in a lot of the closed-end funds, but they were downgraded to unsafe. Simply Safe Dividends, which is what we're on. I don't think I said. Refreshed our outlook on Schmuckers, JM Smucker. And all that an outlook is it's unique to Simply Safe Dividends, meaning that they give their own write-up. This is the only place you'll find it. It looks something like this. So you see this blue box, and when you click read more, this is only found on simplysafedividends.com. And we see that Schmucker, I did not know, owns Milkbone. I think I was looking at Folgers and smashing that together in my brain with Milkbone. And Jif. And, oh, what is this? They own Smuckers and Pepperoni and Cafe Bustelo. So there you go. So they write these. I love them because it's very cool. They write it up. I guess you could have paused the video if you wanted to read that. So that's what refreshing an outlook means, is that they. I thought they put the date there somewhere. But anyway, that's an outlook. So they refreshed that on Smucker. So when we talk about refreshing an outlook, they go over it, make sure everything's still up to date and applicable, and if they want to add or change anything, then they do. Crown Castle, which is a telecom tower REIT, was downgraded from 60 to 50 borderline safe. I didn't read this one. I do apologize. You're going to have to just, go deeper or read the headline if you want. But there you go. They're retaining their fiber business, and the dividend remains frozen as debt maturities loom. There, see? It sounds like I know what I'm talking about. This one was interesting. This one had shades of, if you guys are familiar, if you've read Snowball, I know you have, Ryan, if you're still at the gym listening, but an investment manager from a subsidiary appears to have been cherry picking trades, meaning offering more favorable trades for preferred or selected clientele instead of everyone else, which is why would you even keep your money there? So people are probably going to pull their money out of Franklin Resources, but it kind of reminded me of Salmon. He's got fish on the brain. Solomon, right? In the 90s when they had, I can't think of his name. Too much rattling around in this old noggin, I guess. But I can't. It's going to hit me. Somebody put it in the chat if you remember who the bad actor was at Solomon and Buffett. Yeah, it was. I can't remember, but it was something similar. He was. Was it bond trades? Oh, my God, it must be Sunday night. Anyway, it was something similar. Just trust me on it, right? So Franklin, there was a stock sell-off because of the SEC investigation. And then Altria, hey, we just talked about MO. The Big Mo raised their dividend 4.1%, but they even Simply Safe says that their long-term, and this is why I sold, long-term growth outlook remains hazy thanks to evolving regulations and consumer preferences. So, they're only going to be able to hike prices so much. You're going to have your hardcore addicts, but people are going to find alternatives. And then they refresh their outlook on NNN. And that is the news. Oh, Jeff, I'm so sorry, man. Hold on. Let me throw that back there. I didn't do your Chevron. We're going to peek into that real quick. Real quick into Civics Chevron. Dividend safety score of 90. Very safe. And what happened during the recession? There you go. I'm up 74% on my 15 shares of Chevron. All right, recession sales, negative 42%, so people were driving less apparently. There's your dividend growth, 112 years of uninterrupted dividends, 36 years they have grown that dividend, and just average dividend growth, so, not bad. Currently paying $6.52 per share every year, and it looks like they'll be raising it in the end of the year. It would look like, or no, beginning of, in the spring. We got some time to go. There's a couple metrics there. So right now their dividend yield, if you're a believer or an adherent in dividend yield theory, it's about 5% above the 5-year average. Forward price to earnings about in line. They've come down actually. Look at that, toward the lower end of the 52-week range. And they're just awash in cash. I don't know. Does anyone know the number? I think that for Chevron and Exxon and a lot of the energy companies, that the barrel of oil, I think if it's in the mid 30s, somewhere $36, $37, that's kind of their break even. And oil right now is, I don't know, last I saw it was in the 80s. So they are just flush with cash right now. So I think they're paying down debt. Let's see what they're doing if I can tell real quick. Free cash flow per share is still up there. There's just going to be solid. Buying back shares ever so slightly, but kind of flat over the last 10 years. Sales, you get this, right? With the energy. I mean, they just up and down, so they don't just go straight up like Visa. And really, as of late, right? since oil's gone up, high return on invested capital and equity. So their margins are really good right now, and that's awesome. Yeah, they paid down a ton of debt, although it's increased a little bit. So yeah, plenty. And if anybody's new watching for the first time, interest coverage ratio, this tells us how many dollars of operating income does a company have to cover every $1 of interest on the debt. Currently, Chevron right here has $53.21 of operating income to cover every $1 of interest on the debt. Just no problems there. So yeah, solid, man. I mean, it's probably a good time trading near a 52-week low. I probably should have gave an alpha spread on them. I'll tell you what they say. If I was Kevin Burgess, I would go to Morningstar and I would tell you their fair value. But as I talk and type, as a Chevron, they have a base case of $188, so about 22% undervalued. So yeah, man, yeah, John Gutfried, that's the one. Look at you with the middle name, right? What did we talk about last week on a fun joke to play on people? Next time you meet parents, the proud parents of a bouncing baby boy or girl, I think it works better with boys though, is that when they tell you the name, you say, wait, what's the middle name? And then they'll tell you the middle name, and then you say, oh, like the serial killer, meaning, right, John Wayne Gacy. We always talk about them first, middle, and last. So that's fun. All right. Yeah, Pat, no commercials on the live. I did away with them. I said, you know what? I'm going to take a page out of Kevin Burgess's playbook, and yeah, I turn them on at the conclusion of this. So if you're watching on the replay, you might have got hit with a few, but boy, I enjoy tea. There you go. Sam is in Victoria, Australia. Now, I've been to Victoria, British Columbia. I've been to Perth, Western Australia. And Sam, you asked me, oh, did you do sightseeing and stuff? And it's like, yeah, no, unfortunately, everybody. How can I say this PG? I watched Deadpool with my teenage daughters yesterday, and boy, that was a little uncomfortable at times. I had my wife fast forwarding through it, but if you know, you know. When I visited Perth, Western Australia, everybody, it was when I was aboard the United States John C. Stennis, I messed that up, USS John C. Stennis, this thing right back here, aircraft carrier. I was 20 years old. I was single. I had a little bit of money in my pocket. I had no girlfriend. And the sights I saw were bars, dance clubs, gentlemen's clubs, casinos. I think we went to, restaurants, and I think we went to a tattoo shop. So that's what I saw of Perth. And it kind of stinks because some of the older sailors, they went out on like these excursions, the ones that were married with kids and family, and they saw outback trips or whatever, or this, or mountain hiking. And yeah, I pretty much just spent all my time inside of clubs and places a single 20-year-old sailor would go, right? You don't really have to use your imagination much with that. Oh, Jeff, to hear your news over stupid oil. Yeah, well, there you go. We got it for you, man. We got it for you. What do I think about... Oh, Alan, what's up, man? Nice that you're new. Thanks for swinging on by. QDTE and XDTE. Man, I wouldn't even... I know what they are. I haven't looked into them, right? Somebody clear me up on this, but I think that's... XDTE is 0 days to operation, and I don't know what Q days to operation is. They're derivative funds, and it's gambling. You're gambling on price and direction, and if you're not doing it, then the fund is doing it for you. And any fund you buy, you have to understand what the underlying is. So what are they buying and selling? That's 0 days to expiration, which means they're selling call options in the morning or a couple hours before. So, man, that is just As somebody that knows their way a little bit around options, the closer you get to the expiration date, the higher the volatility usually goes, right? Because of time decay. So yeah, I don't know what they invest in. I assume that they're selling calls, right? And they're writing them, which kind of puts the odds in your favor a little more. But you know what, man? Let me see here. Actually, since you're new, you've piked my curiosity and interest here, and we are going to see what exactly the underlying is. See if we can figure this out. We'll just use good old. Let's do XDTE. Roundhill. Roundhill had nerds. They have they have all these weird ETFs, man. I'd be careful with that. You'll get your money if they close it back. If they close it down, you'll get it back. But Roundhill has some really interesting ETFs. One of them is nerds. One of them is, I think, bugs. They have one, I think, weed, all the weed stocks. But this has only been around since March 7th. And I love to do the charting. Why are we still so zoomed in? Good Lord. We will just look at the total return. No, what am I doing? I'm talking and not paying it. Here we go. Total return. Update the chart. And let's see if we can go back to 3/7/24. Put it on the board. So it's only been around since March 7th, 2024. And then we'll do to current, what month are we in? August. My, how time flies. All right, so yeah, XDT, it's beating the S&P 500. It has a total return of 10.88%. So that's interesting. But let me see what when do they do that dividend? Is it, it's every month. All right, it's once a month. But I just want to see what the underlying is right now. And the expense ratio. 6 total holdings. So there's not a lot of underlying stocks. Dividend yield 10%. All right. I still don't see the expense ratio. Oh, there we go. Oof. Yeah, 0.95%. So that's going to eat into your total return a little bit. Yeah, one basis point is almost kind of high, and they don't have the. No, they don't have the. So we'd have to go to their website, which, you know what? Since we're on it, watch this. If I can. Here, we'll go to my Google screen. DHILL. Roundhill Investments. It's right on their front page. They'll show. So here they do. They've got. That was a better view of those. Yeah, like they got bets. There you go. The sports betting. They got generative AI, which is chat. So if I can. There we go. Income. There we go. XDTE. This is what you do, people. This is what I do in my spare time. So you would have to look at the, where is it? Top 10 holdings, which will be right here. I don't know if that's right. This is only showing 3 of them. Yeah, and I don't know. SPX, SPX. It's just, again, I'm already can tell this is out of my, this is out. So they're selling call options on the, I don't know, man. I would stay away if it was me. No, you got to see that. Cool. Yeah, I would stay away, dude. I don't know, unless somebody else has some insight that I do. It would go in my too hard pile, and I would say it's gambling, but hey, it's almost 11% return since March, so maybe this one will do well. But I think a lot of the Roundhill ETFs are gimmicky. I think Kings, KNGS, we did a video on, is one of their, is one of their ETFs. It's all Dividend Kings, right? I don't know if that's for me. Paid on Friday instead. Oh, you're talking to Pat. Okay, never mind. Tutomi, what's up, man? What stage are you buying a new car? Well, I'm not buying a new car. It's buying a used car. It'll be new to me. And we went through this in the podcast. I'm likely going to sell probably Pepsi, sell my odd lots of J&J, Prudential, I think I'm going to sell out of that one. If it hits 20, I might just close out of that. But yeah, and then of those of you that are new watching, so what I did, and I don't recommend this, is instead of dumping a lot of money, like 3 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months in an emergency fund to properly fund it, we instead put that into things like PepsiCo, Johnson and Johnson, lower volatility, more blue chip. But any equity is risky. I don't care what anyone says. If you're investing in Procter and Gamble, it's still risky because any crazy black swan thing can happen. I don't know. The CEO could be a member of a cult, embezzling money, from the Russians, and I don't know. They could go out of business overnight. The craziest things can happen, right? So for me, those of you that are buying a new car, apparently I'm stuck in the past because, mamma mia, it is expensive. We're looking for an SUV, third row, kind of like a Volkswagen Atlas. And oh my goodness, for 53, 55, 57,000 miles, 2020, 2021, looking at like $30,000. So I don't know what happened, everybody. Piece of junk cars are apparently about $12K for what we want. $13K is for a piece of junk. So I don't know. We'll see. We are, we're still figuring that out. That's my wife. She's doing that. Can I talk more about Crown Castle? I don't know much about them other than you got me tongue tied. Other than that, they are. That's tough. Hey, nice job. I can't talk much about them other than that they are a REIT and they do telecom towers. What's with the T's? Telecom towers is what they got. Yeah. What is it? I don't know why I put this on. Apparently, everybody, we get to be treated to that. Ryan's cooking the steak fajitas. I know, I'm trying to do a better job doing screening. Oh, dude, you are right. Thanks for reminding me, but the only thing I'm worried about is if I go on... Oh, no, I can. I don't have to show that. Yeah, let's see. So if you go... This actually is a case for opening up an account with Schwab. So let me log in so I can get past all the confidentialities without showing, account numbers and things like that on the screen. But I'm typing in the ticker symbol right now, which you will open that up. And then there is a ratings and reports section, and it shows Morningstar. You see their logo, and it'll say Morningstar Equity Analyst Report. All right, so now I can share this with you because I am away from... Let me close that just in case. I gotta keep something secret. I like sharing with you guys, but I'm not gonna share account numbers. Okay, so we're in the clear. So it brings up one of these. It's and it's free. Like I guess you could just open up for free a Schwab brokerage account. So they show a fair value estimate of 176, Mr. Jeff. So according to Alpha Spread and according to, hey, maybe it's time for me to add a few more Chevron, right? But it's tough because my cost basis are under $100. So yeah, there you go. And it's a lengthy report you get. You'll be up to speed on the business, at least from what their analysts say, and it'll show, competitors and all this and that. But yeah, these analyst reports are really, really helpful. The bulls say, bears say, they go over their economic moat. So for the low cost of free, it is really, really nice. So there you go, Ryan. Thanks for reminding me about that. And there he is, dude. I was thinking of asking you if you wanted to come on tonight, but what say you about TD? Are you aware of all the money laundering stuff and all that? And hey, Craig, thanks for being one of the handful of people to give me a thumbs up on my video. I knew it was not going to do well because not a lot of people who invest play fantasy football. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't know of any financial channel that said, hey, there's this connection between investing and dynasty fantasy football that I won a championship. And I know right as I'm saying this, people are like, did I just hear fantasy football? Out. Goodbye. But anyway, what do you think about the TD hullabaloo and situation? Oh, Janice, yeah, with the beautiful boy. Yeah, you could do that. Oh, Janice, that would be crazy. As soon as they name what are you going to name him? We named him, John Michael Scott. Oh, like the serial killer. Wait, no, what? We changed our mind. We didn't name him that. So, Kevin Burgess, better late than never. Your name comes up though, buddy. It comes up. By the way, make sure you tune in tomorrow night. A handoff here to Kevin's channel. Why? Because you should. He's a good man. He's a good, decent human being, and we like Kevin. So tune into him, even if he's head over heels for those lamb fries at Lamb Weston, which is a company he invests in. They make fries for McDonald's, and I don't know which other ones. Oh, by the way, hold on. 2 things, everybody. Ryan, this is my book. I've read this twice. I love this book. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Fantastic book. I bought it at Half Price Books. I read the audiobook twice, and I had my Hoopla app was littered with bookmarks, so I ended up just buying this thing, and it's really cool. It's a really, really good read, and he even delves into how money came to be, why capital flows towards, it trickles away from dictatorial countries and goes into countries that respect private property and the rule of law. Use the example of Spain versus the Netherlands, why the Netherlands became such a global power back in the 1600s, 1700s, because they had a lot of money that was loaned to them because they would repay their debts. They had the rule of law. We're the king of Spain. You make a loan to the king of Spain, and it's like, hey, you know what? I'm just not going to pay you back because I got other things to spend my money on. So have a nice day. Or if you lived in Spain, the king of Spain would say, hey, we're going to imprison this banker, and your family is going to have to pay money to get you out of this dungeon. Otherwise, you're just going to rot in here until you die. And so money flows towards those places, right? Think of it like United States, for better or worse, we still respect the private property, the rule of law. Okay, I understand but generally speaking, but places like North Korea, money trickles away from that. There's a lot of dictatorial places in Latin America. Capital trickles away. Capital flees those places. So there we go. Bose, what's up, man? Nice to have you back. But yeah, a really good book. Really good book. And I just enjoy it immensely. And I'm probably going to go through and read this again because there's just really good stuff that I want to keep on my mind. Isn't the market tech very overbought? Michael Anthony. I wonder, are you Michael Anthony that played bass in Van Halen? If you are, hey man, a lot of good songs. If not, it's okay. We still enjoy having you here. It's hard to say because it really is kind of a new, I guess, dynamic. Whereas businesses back in the old economy were really capital intensive, but some of these new businesses, they print money. And like Visa, very little capital is required to keep that moat going. So, yeah, Ryan, they're at the top of my list. If you guys haven't checked out Crossing Wall Street, which is Eddie Elfenbein's jam, every year he puts out a new list of stocks, and he's done this, I think, 10, 12 years. I think we looked at it last time we were on the channel. Really cool. List the stock he owns, when to buy it under, and like one sentence on what they do. And every year he it's an ETF now you can actually invest in. But or you can just follow and play along at home, do it yourself. But yeah, Rollins is one of the companies on his list. So it's kind of funny when Ryan started talking about it. It was like right at the same time, and then I heard Eddie Elfenbein, and it's not Henry Rollins' business, okay? But yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like these good businesses, you don't get many opportunities. So that's something I'm gonna learn again with Visa, and momentum will shift, right? Momentum always shifts. But Crystal Pepsi, I was going to talk about. I know we're running low on time here, but Afford Anything. This was shared in the newsletter with Paula Pant. Kevin Novak, I think is his name, the former CEO of Yum Brands, was on, talked with her for like an hour and a half, kind of pimping his new book, which I'm going to read this week. But he talked about Crystal Pepsi. And the problem was he was hard-headed on it. The bottlers and suppliers, they told him, this isn't going to work. It's not going to last because it doesn't taste like Pepsi. And he said, but it's not supposed to taste like Pepsi. It's Crystal Pepsi. And he didn't even care. And ultimately, that was the downfall of it. He had a lot of people telling him, this doesn't taste like Pepsi, not going to work. But I think it's a cult thing. I think I had it once. Jeff, you hit a deer with your 09 car and hoping that, boy, good luck, man. Yeah, I'm glad you say that because my wife every day says, look at this one, look at this one. And I just keep seeing like 26K, 24, 29K. I'm like, oh my God. But that's, All right, Gorilla Nurse, what's going on? Oh, well, thanks, man. I guess I made that video mostly for me and those of us that do play fantasy football and invest. And I knew it wasn't going to do well, but I really enjoyed pulling clips of like DJ Moore and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I had one of Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's still too new. So I wanted to, I don't know. I did put Brock Bowers in there though, right? Georgia Bulldog alumni. Stan thinks that TD will be more than fine. How can they be more than fine, buddy? Would you want to lap? Don't I know I'm teasing. That's an old George Carlin joke when he said sayings people use that don't sound right, and one of them was when people say, "Oh, I'd be more than happy to do that for you," and it's like, more than happy. That sounds like a dangerous mental condition. What happened to old Steve? Yeah, they had to lock him up. He was more than happy, right? So more than fine in the long run. Only a few Canadian banks to choose from, and they're all solid. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be okay. But I thought about going into Royal Bank of Canada, and then I just said, you know what? If I wanted something a little higher yielding, I'm just going to put it into more of what I have a pretty good grasp on, which is like Agree Realty, Vici Properties, maybe even Visa. I might even buy a few more shares of Visa in the retirement account. SPYI, we're short on that. Bring it back next time. I don't. Cody, I don't really have any opinion on SPYI. I'd have to educate myself on it. I know Cody, I think, has talked about it right here. Citizen of the Year. USA is becoming North Korea. I understand how some people say that. I guess I would disagree. We still got NASCAR, man, right? As long as we got NASCAR, that ain't gonna happen. But, and there he is. Salud, amigo mio. When is Jet? Well, never, ever. No Jet. Maybe when is more trips with friend and family to spend money on those that I love. I'm taking my kids next year to England and Scotland. My 15-year-old is a big Harry Potter fan. As I call him sometimes, Jerry Potter, or, mess with the name to get her riled up. But yeah, we're going to go see a bunch of stuff between England and Scotland next year. And yeah, just doing it. That's what I want to spend the money on, dude. I don't care about jets, all that stuff. I want to spend money on experiences. I want to spend money on the people I love and care about, and ultimately be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want on my own terms. And that to me is ultimately vastly more important than any private jet, anything in the lap of luxury. But as my wife points out to me, yeah, we can have an old house, but we don't have to live in crap. Like, not crap, but there's some things I have for, and I don't know if this happens to you, but there's some upgrades around the house, you know, like from the 70s still here that I have not upgraded. I think this paneling behind me, we've painted it, but serves its purpose, and we'll, yeah. What was I saying? I don't know. Oh, that's what I was saying. I've forewent something, upgrades to the house so I can invest and buy more PepsiCo and you know, Lockheed Martin and things like that. But so as I say, I'm like, wow, you know, yeah, we got some old railings and things from the 70s, but look at this Lockheed Martin yield on cost. Isn't that great? So anyway, long-winded answer to a three-letter or word statement. Nike, I want to. I guess I'm a little disappointed. I really thought I had more time to keep buying Starbucks, and the damn things just plop, shot right up. That sounded more like a plop, not really a shoot up. Jeff, I'd love to see it more in the 70s again. I think if we go below, I don't know. See, but isn't that getting cute? If someday I expect it to be a really nice total return, like I did with Visa, maybe I haven't learned my lesson. What's the difference? 78, 84. If someday it's over 100 and the dividends keep growing and compounding, you know, I don't know what that would matter, but oh my God. Well, yeah, we Jim, you said tab clear, and I vaguely remember those. And yeah, you know what, everybody? I really hope you make money. You know why you know why I invest? I invest because
I like money.
I like money, just like Frito said, which is from Idiocracy. If you haven't seen Idiocracy, you have to treat yourself. You'll enjoy it. I don't know. I enjoy it. My kids didn't enjoy it. They said they felt dumb after watching it, which I think is the point. But I hope that you don't feel dumb after watching this. If you got some kind of value, if you were entertained, maybe had a laugh, I don't know, whatever. Maybe you're sniffing glue, or you just came back from the dentist office and the effects of the medicine haven't worn off. I know, right? I couldn't think of the name. My brain's like, I'm trying to wrap it up and land the plane, and my brain's like, what's it called? What's it called? The other part of my brain's like, keep stalling. We're trying to find it. We're trying to find it. And I'm like, no, time's up. I can't stall anymore. It's the laughing gas. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, if you're on laughing gas, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have had you here. I really do love all of you that you stopped by. And hey, my guy, Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman's, which I just found out today, a little bit more of Pee Wee's Playhouse lore, is that one Rob Zombie, when he was 19 years old, worked on the set of Pee Wee's Playhouse and got paid $5 an hour. I saw a clip of him on Larry King talking about it, so that's an interview I'm going to have to check out. So now you know that. Knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe, it's been another fun one. I really do appreciate you stopping by, and I will be sure to see you again on a long Labor Day weekend. So long, everybody. I love you.